Shalom, welcome to Israeli Salad. Today we are starting our program from the Ben Gurion Airport. Let's get started. Shalom, here in the Ben Gurion Airport, which is located not far away from Tel Aviv, we met many people who are coming to Israel to celebrate the Chag, the festival of Rosh Hashana here in Israel. We spoke to a few of these people. Let's hear what they had to say.
I'm here to spend Rosh Hashana and the holidays with my family, and I'm not afraid. Everything is great.
I could be scared in New York, in my hometown. We had the worst terrorist bombing in the world. I'm not going to let terrorism keep me home.
So you came back just in time for Rosh Hashanah?
Yeah, I left 3 days ago on business and came right back.
What brings you to Israel?
The boys are in the army. 3 boys, 3 grandsons.
I'm here in Arutz Sheva for about 12 hours, and then I'm back to Lakewood, New Jersey. I wish I was here for Rosh Hashana.
We're here to celebrate the New Year in the most special place in the world.
I love Israel, and I'm going to keep coming.
I feel something which I can't explain, like spiritual in the country, which I don't feel somewhere else.
You're making Aliyah, immigrating to Israel a few days before Rosh Hashanah. How do you feel about that? The new year, new country, and new home.
It's good because this is a new start. And we're really hoping for a good year because, it's a challenge and we want to be successful.
Now, what would be your blessing to the state of Israel?
That there should be peace ASAP, and all Jews of all different backgrounds should get along.
Except for the people who are coming here to Israel to celebrate Rosh Hashanah and the rest of the festivals, the Yom Kippur festival, the Sukkot festival, there is a group of people from the Breslev Hasidim who are actually leaving Israel to celebrate Rosh Hashanah abroad. I met these people. Let's hear how they explain to me what they are going to do in Uman, in Russia, for this Rosh Hashanah.
We're going up to the Tziyun by the gravesite of Rav Nachman of Breslov in Uman, which is in Russia.
So the Rabbi Nachman said that everybody of his Hasidis have to come every year in Rosh Hashanah to come on his grave and to pray, and he going to make us more tzaddikim, more clean, all the world. So we don't have another choice just to go every year in Rosh Hashanah.
Well, this year is supposed to come 17,000 people from 53 countries, and that's because Rabbi Nachman, that's his last thing that he asked before he died.
We pray and everything. It's like it's supposed to be a very spiritual, hype spiritual thing.
Okay, that'll be all for now from the Ben Gurion Airport. Stay tuned because we'll be back in the studio in just a moment. The only question I want to ask you is, if you are still in your homes in America, England, or anywhere throughout the globe, why you are not here yet. So I hope you're on your way here, and we'll see you soon in the arrivals hall of the Ben Gurion Airport. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
So, why did you come to Israel?
To experience the culture, to have a great year, to see everything that I've always wanted to see, like firsthand, not just on like a tour. So that's why I came to Israel.
Welcome back, and now Mark Kaplan takes us to meet the teenagers of the Young Judea program.
We're also getting a team together to play real football.
For more than 50 years, the Young Judea program has been bringing young adults from North America and Great Britain to Israel for its year-long programs. The program provides participants with the opportunity to study, volunteer, and experience Israel.
Participants spend a period of time in Jerusalem where they study Jewish history, they study Zionism, they study their culture, they study their heritage. They also have the opportunity to volunteer in a community across the country, all different towns across the country. There's also an opportunity for them to volunteer and live and work on kibbutz. Also, they have interaction with the army. We feel it very important that any 18-year-old who comes to Israel and wants to understand Israeli society should have some serious interaction with the army. So we offer 2 army programs.
My first ride from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem was amazing. I just looked out the window and it was my first experience, and I just saw Jews everywhere, and it was just incredible. And it was like I felt home, and I felt like this is where I belong.
The year course program this year has the largest number of participants on it ever, and I think that's a tribute to both Young Judea and FZY, to Hadassah, who are our sponsors, and also to the work and the hard work that's been put in by our staff in Britain, in America and in Israel to make what really is a life-changing experience.
My father is Catholic and my mother is Jewish, and I was raised in a Catholic home, and my freshman year in high school I found Judaism and I fell in love with it, and I knew that Israel was the place to be, and I knew I had to come here.
Young Judea has recently added a group of Israelis into the program.
We try to show them how it is like living here, and also what kind of things you can do here which is different than America, because so many things here are so different than in America. What I get from this program is definitely a very good experience and a very good interaction between me and the American and British. Being with them, getting to know them, learning how it's like to be a Jewish person but that doesn't live in Israel.
We visited the Young Judea program as they prepared for the upcoming Rosh Hashana holiday.
We're going to look at the concepts of repentance through one of the prayers, which is Avinu Malkeinu, and we're also going to look a little bit at the shofar.
Rosh Hashanah is actually one of the Chagim that has the most interesting customs around it, except for maybe Pesach. What sort of stuff do you do? Have you start home, seen?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'etz. Then dip now.
We're really putting ourselves in a little bit here. We're recognizing.
Eat now or sit eat? Eat now, so it doesn't count.
One purpose of the program is to encourage Aliyah, but the first and foremost goal of the Young Judea program is to instill a strong sense of Jewish identity and a bond with Israel.
I don't know about Aliyah yet, but I do want to come back to Israel.
Some of you might remember the pre-Rosh Hashanah song, Dip the Apple in the Honey. So let's begin with a look at the largest honey manufacturer in Israel, the kibbutz of Yad Mordechai. In 1936, a group of Jews from Poland immigrated to Israel. Their intention was to settle the southern areas near the border with Egypt. In those days, the south was controlled by Arabs, so the group temporarily settled near the coastal city of Netanya. In the area where the group settled was a group of Australian soldiers who were part of the British forces controlling Israel. Some of these Australians were beekeepers, and they taught the new immigrants the science of beekeeping.
Step by step, they created a small beehive field. They had a few beehives, and they started selling honey in the area.
In 1946, the group moved down south with their knowledge and equipment and founded the kibbutz of Yad Mordechai in memory of Mordechai Anelevich, who led the Warsaw Ghetto Revolt during the Holocaust. The honey industry grew, and today Yad Mordechai has become the largest honey manufacturer in Israel.
The secret of beekeeping has been passed generation to generation.
I love this profession. It's very interesting to learn about the life of the bees.
As the festival of Rosh Hashanah approaches, the bees are working overtime. The bees fly in groups from their hives to the citrus orchards and flowers which are nearby. They extract the pollen and bring it back to the hives. The honey is later taken to the Yad Mordechai honey factory, where it is processed and filtered and then distributed throughout the country. Because of the weather in Israel, there is flower blossoming almost all year round, and the main source of pollen in Israel is the citrus flowers.
The citrus honey is yellow, golden. The words, a land of milk and honey, probably meant this type of honey.
To feel better about eating honey, I asked Yair what are the positive properties of the honey.
It's compatible to the human body. We eat it and produce from it much energy without leaving anything in our body like sugar does. The honey has a lot of vitamins and minerals.
So from the hives of the Kibbutz Yad Mordechai honey factory, that'll be all for now. We'll be back in the studio in just a moment, trying to understand the tradition of the apple and the honey on the Rosh Hashanah festival meal. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
So, why did you come to Israel?
I came to Israel to work with Magen David Adom, and my plan is to help people.
Now Now that we've seen how the honey is made, it's time to understand the meaning of the use of honey on Rosh Hashanah. Rabbi Samson joins us from his office in Jerusalem. Rabbi Samson, what is the meaning of this very tasty tradition of eating an apple dipped in honey during the Rosh Hashanah meals?
Shalom Yoni, shalom to all of our listeners, and at the beginning of the year I want to wish everybody a good, sweet year. This is the blessing that we actually wish the Jewish people when we eat the apple with honey. We say, may it be the will of the Lord that He grant us a good and a sweet year. We know that God is always going to grant us a good year, and the question is whether or not the good that God sees for us we're going to see and witness as being sweet as well. So we begin the year with honey, not only on an apple, but we have honey applied to the bread, and not only on Rosh Hashanah, but it's something we begin on Rosh Hashanah and throughout the high holidays of Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur we fast, but the eve of Yom Kippur, and after we break our fasts after Yom Kippur, we also apply honey to the bread, and throughout the Sukkot holiday until the last day of Simchat Torah, Hoshana Rabbah, when we still have the honey. The honey is the sweetest of all things, and it's also a food that the land of Israel is blessed with. It's a land flowing of milk and honey. Here we're talking about date honey. Usually today people have bee honey. But the idea is that we begin the year that it should not only be good, but it should be palatable and even sweet.
Rabbi Samson, you began with a Shana Tova greeting, and I'd like to get back to that. What would be your blessing to the Jewish nation entering the new year?
Well, I think the best blessing to give the Jewish people would be taken from the prayers that we say on Rosh Hashanah, and we say, Tichle Shana v'kilaloteha. May the past year end with all of the curses that were with it, Tachel Shana u'birchoteha, and may the next year begin with a bountiful amount of blessing.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
Thank you, Yoni. Shalom, and Happy New Year to all of our listeners.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
3 times a day, Jews say as part of the daily prayers, sound the great shofar for our redemption, raise the banner to gather our exile, and speedily gather us together from the 4 corners of the earth to our land. These are the very words used by Naftali Abramson in a song he calls the Aliyah Song. As we listen to these words, I pray to see you all very soon crowding the arrivals hall at the Ben Gurion Airport. That'll be all for now. Join us again next week. Shalom and Shana Tova.
וקבצנו יחד מהרה מארבע כנפות הארץ לארצנו, 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 לארצנו. שופר גדול לחירותנו ושא נס לכבד גלויות